All right, what's up, fellas? Well, continuing with the garage renovation series. So I got the garage painted, ended up going with Fortitude for the walls, which is a Benjamin Moore color, pure white for the ceiling. Really happy with how that came out, so now we can move on with the next steps. So we're gonna still gotta do flooring, which I think in the last video I said I was gonna do race deck flooring, but actually probably gonna do, Swiss tracks. So testing out a couple of RibTrax Pro tiles here. Also got the wall mounted pressure washer to do. So spotless tanks just came yesterday. Really excited about getting that all hooked up. Also tool cart and cabinets and storage and all that good stuff. But today's mission is lighting and electrical. So as I mentioned in the first video for the garage renovation, had an electrician come out and add 2 outlets on the back wall, 2 on the side wall, each set on their own 20 amp breakers. So plenty of power out here now, aside from just this single 15 amp outlet that we were working with before, because the 2 in the ceiling are pretty much useless except for garage door openers. But now that those are in, I've got to replace these. So these are kind of old and dingy looking, so I got new ones for these and the ceiling. Going to replace the light switches on the wall with some paddle switches just because I like the way they look better. Also, the garage door sensor and opener wiring has to get redone, so I ripped down all the old stuff. It was just really dingy looking, looked like it had been painted over once, maybe twice. They had it running across the ceiling, which looked really crappy, so ripped all of that down, got some new wiring. I would have liked to have run it in the ceiling so you don't see any of it, but I think I can do a pretty clean job of running it along seams and stuff like that. And then the only part where you're really gonna see it is coming down to the garage door openers. So not that big of a deal. And then finally, the main thing is getting the OBDII LED lighting set up. So got 12 of these 4-foot tubes that are gonna go up. We're gonna do 4 lanes of 3 from front to back. Gonna lay that out on the ground first with my new favorite tool to help, which is a self-leveling laser, which I don't know why I'm just now getting one of these. I could have used this for a million different things. This thing is awesome. So that is the plan for today. And first up, replacing the outlets. I feel confident enough in my electrical capabilities to replace an outlet, but beyond that, calling an electrician. Electricity is one of those things that I try to mess with as minimally as possible. But I suppose it's like anything else that you just don't have much of an understanding of. If you don't really understand it, probably afraid of it, but electricity is one of those things that can mess you up. For example, little $2 pen test tool, right? I know this is off. I plug something into it, but I still have to octuple check. I guess it's better than just being zapped. I hate the push-in ones. Why can't you just wrap them around the screw like everybody else? Much better. All right, so 1 down, 2 more outlets to go, 2 fixtures, and a couple of light switches. Piece cake. All right, well, 1 garage door opener wired, 1 to go. So this is about as clean as I could make the wiring, short of running it through the ceiling. I'm pretty happy with how this came out. Some runs in the corner there. Across there, that draping wire is to the other garage door opener, not hooked up yet, so never mind that, but yeah, that came out pretty good. So yeah, of all the options that I considered, which included sort of running along the beam here and then cutting across, really happy with how this came out running down the center. I figured it was probably the cleanest option, and just kind of matching it up with the main channel here. So yeah, that laser alignment, the self-leveling laser tool really came in handy. That thing is so awesome. I bought it for the lighting, but yeah, I'm using it for everything now. All right, well, now that all of the outlets are replaced, the light switches are replaced, and the garage sensor wiring is reran, which I could not be more happy with how that came out. That brings us to lighting, and I hit a little bit of a snag when it came to that. Let me explain. So originally I was planning on doing the OBDII lighting, right? So I got these back in January. They were on sale at Amazon. Got a 12 pack of these things for, I think it was $88, right? So now I know that when you spend, $88 on 48 feet of LED tubing, you have to kind of manage expectations. You're not exactly going to be getting high quality stuff. Got these out, started playing around with them, and I just couldn't make it happen, right? So I started, the one thing that I really hated was just the added wiring. And I knew this was going to be a thing, but I hated the idea of adding more wiring, stapling more wiring to the ceiling to connect these things. You can connect them end to end, and I actually did after many Cosmos and you know, sketching this thing out on paper with like little cutout pieces to simulate the lighting, I did kind of come up with a plan that I thought might work because my original idea wasn't going to. Couldn't make it happen. The other thing was the color, right? So these are the T5 LEDs. They're 6500 temperature, and I knew that going in. I knew it was going to be a colder, bluer light, which I sort of hate. But once I got it turned on, I was like, man, that's offensively cold and bluish. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it would look cool as like an accent on the wall or something like that, but I hated it. So went online, kind of back to the drawing board, ended up going with these lights here. So these are the Prime, I forget what they are. They're Prime Stingray 4s. Did a lot of research on these, and these seem to be pretty good. In fact, I think these are actually the ones that Obsessed Garage sells for their basic overhead lighting solution. Not 100% sure because I don't know the brand, but I think they're these lights. Now, I know that for, you know, a 2-car garage, it would probably be ideal to have 3 on each side. Again, I should have probably planned this out a little bit better, and before getting the paint and everything like that, I probably should have had an electrician come out here and run additional wiring so that I could do an end-to-end, you know, well, not end-to-end, but do, you know, the appropriate stage of lighting. But we're a little past that point now. So, gonna get these 2 sections installed, get these up in the air, see how that looks, and we'll go from there. All right, I'm not gonna go through an entire light installation. However, if you do get these lights, so the default setup, you'll have this little sort of panel here that the wiring will feed through. So you can just remove the light tray that holds all the tubes in, just 2 screws that hold those into place. And then if you want to run your wiring through the center instead, so you can just push in this little round metal tab here. And then for the little panel here, this is where the grounding screw is going to be. So, and not only that, but like this little tab sticking up would make it so it's impossible to flush mount. But you just curl these little tabs here, and then this piece will fall through. And then you can just reattach the light tray, run your wiring through here. I'm using a pigtail for the ground, and then you're good to go. All right, guys, well, the lighting is done, and that is a substantial improvement. Really happy with the results. See, these are the 5K, and I think this is a nicer mix between the 3500K LED fans that were out here and the 6500K Barina lights, which were just a little too cold. So anyway, installation was fairly easy. And yeah, after looking at this for, I don't know, a couple of minutes, if I'm being honest, I think I'd kind of like to add the rest of them out here. So I think 2 will be good for now, but yeah, I'm thinking I'm probably gonna at least add 2 more back here. But if I'm gonna go through all that trouble, I might just do another set towards the back. One thing that I think is worth mentioning is, this is funny, I just ran into this issue. And thank God there's, you know, other people who post this kind of stuff online. So when I went to go turn the lights on, kind of tested them, I turned them on, turned them back off, turned them on again. And then this happens when you do that. Notice the slow fade. So that happened, and of course my first thought was, holy crap, something's wired wrong. Dimming, there's probably a voltage drop, something's wrong with the wiring, and I was gonna start ripping everything apart. But I thought, let me hop online, see what's doing real quick. And Scooby Freak 86, big giant shout out to him. So he installed these exact same lights, and it turns out these are the lights from Obsessed Garage. But anyway, the thing is that is a feature, not a bug. So it is a feature that auto dims. So when you turn on the first time, you just get full lumen. When you turn on, off, on, it'll dim to 10%. And then there's actually a favorite function, which I think if you turn off halfway through the dimming at the point that you like it and then turn back on, it'll stay at that somewhere between 10 and 100% dimmed level. So cool feature. Would have been even cooler if they had included the little sheet that explains that with the kit. I ordered 2 of these lights, and neither one of them included the paper that explains that functionality. So yes, I much like him, if you see his video, I thought I did something wrong, but it turns out it's how it's actually supposed to work. And quick note on the wiring. So over here I had 2 black wires, 3 white wires, and over there I had the 1 black wire, 2 white wires. So for wiring that one up, I used the quick wire connect that was included on the end of the factory wiring, but on this side, I cut that off and then just used wire nuts to tie everything up together. And then I also picked up some of these 12 gauge pigtails in order to do the ground wiring. So I had both wires were grounded together, with one didn't go to the fixture because the old fixture was plastic, so it didn't need to be grounded, but because these were metal, grab the pigtails, use some wire nuts in order to connect all of the ground wiring, and then use the included screw that comes with the fixture. So yeah, I think that concludes the lighting and electrical segment of the garage renovation. So super happy that that is all finished up. Next up, wall-mounted pressure washer install. So arguably my favorite part of this renovation is gonna be that. I'm gonna do a complete end-to-end installation video, so keep an eye out for that. And in the meantime, I will catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.